At this time, we ask that you stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag and to now our national anthem.
Thank you, Mason. Please be seated. Well, welcome, parents, grandparents, friends, visitors, staff members, seniors. Welcome to our annual commencement ceremonies here at Hauser Junior High. We're pleased that you can join us this evening for what is a very special occasion where we're going to honor the class of 2019. Through their combined efforts, they've successfully reached this point where they're now ready for our once-in-a-lifetime ceremony as they become graduates of Hauser Junior High. I want to remind you that we do have a professional photographer with us today, so don't worry if you don't get that good shot. We'll have information on how you can get those pictures later on. They will be available online. There have been occasions when the events of this past year have made us question our very existence. Yet through it all, this group of young men and women have fought to achieve their goals. This class has excelled when challenged, persisted when faced with obstacles, endured through difficulties that we would not wish on anyone. Today, we recognize their classmate, Trevor Frazee, with an empty chair, cap and gown, and his picture on it. I also want to recognize that we could not have reached these achievements that we're celebrating today without the assistance and the generosity of surrounding school districts that helped us through a difficult August, actually the entirety of Bartholomew County, and especially the good people of Flat Rock, Hawk Creek Township. We thank you for helping get us to this point. Well, at this time, it's on with the show. I would ask that you silence your cell phones so that we don't disrupt the ceremony. And next up in our program, I want to introduce Miss Erin Newcomb to come forward and give our salutatory address. Erin?
Good evening, everyone. I'm sure you all know me or know of me. I'm kind of infamous in this town, if you don't know. But yeah, so 3 of my close friends and I were in an automobile accident this past fall. But we're all doing a lot better now, a lot. And we're graduating high school, for crying out loud. Yeah. So bear with me through this. I'm going to try to not put you to sleep, Justin. So we're here. We made it. It's been one crazy journey. Our class has been through a great deal of traumatic events, We started off the school year with a heartbreaking funeral for one of our classmates, and then just the next day, me and two other seniors were in an automobile accident, like I said, but we've been through a lot more than most classes, in my opinion. We started off but we've also dealt with a lot of trials on our own. There is this wise saying, be kind to everyone you meet. For everyone is fighting a battle you know nothing about. It is so true. Personally, I've been dealing with an eating disorder. I fought it for years alone, and then my family and friends found out, and so they got me the help I needed. And although this wreck, as tragic as it is, it put an end to my self-destructive behaviors and put some space for me in that demon. All of these trials that we've been through, that I've been through, they've just
they've
made
just made
us
us stronger and made us ready for the future.
And now
We can walk out on our own with our heads held high,
knowing that we're ready to handle anything that this world throws at us. We can take anything because we've already been there. We've done that. So, one of the things I love about this town is that everyone here has seen things, they've done things, they know things. The world needs more people like that, or else it's gonna fall apart, figuratively and literally. It's also always been important that we have people in the world who know how to take care of our bodies, so that everyone else or that other people can use their minds to focus on things like engineering, mechanics, economics, that kind of stuff. Now, I don't have a brain to do any of that stuff, but I have always loved taking care of people. I joke and say that I've had baby fever since I was a baby myself. So, graduate, and once we walk out those doors, we are cut loose. We are free of the chains that bind us to this high school. From here, we will walk out into the world, and we will meet new people and experience real life as adults. Well, most of us are adults, you know. But, so this is where our lives come together. High school has been hectic, and granted, college may be too, but at least in college, we're going to actually be on the path that we want to be on. We're going to be doing things we want to do. So we're all going to go our separate ways and live our lives. We may not be in contact with each other until a reunion, So, like 5 or 10 years from now, when we see each other again, we will have grown. We will have started lives, started careers, started families. Now, think about it. You're gonna want to come back here and brag to all your high school classmates about how well your life is going. You don't want to show up here and tell everyone that you're still single, living at home, unemployed. So that is, if you would even come back to reunion at that point. But so go out there and do things with your lives, cool things. Each of you has strengths that are unique to you. You need to nurture those. I'm aware that some of you may not have faith, but I do. I believe that there is a God, and He had a plan for each one of you already set in place. I believe that He knew your name and the color of your eyes before you were even a thought in your parents' minds. You just need to put in the time and the effort to make it to the top of that mountain. You need to be your own advocate. Don't let yourself fall through the cracks. We're all going to fall down in life, and we're all going to struggle. But what matters is getting back up, pushing through. It's not about how fast you make it to the top of that mountain. It's about making it to the top. So go out there and do real things. Make it to the top of that mountain. I believe in you all, class of 2019. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Aaron. Before moving any further, I want to make a few special introductions here. I want to recognize some special guests. We thank Superintendent Sean Price for being here to participate in the ceremony with us. We have members of the Hauser and Hope staff and faculty that are here that play a significant role in getting these students to this point. I also want to thank the Flat Rock Haw Creek School Board of Trustees for all the work they do during the school year, the role that they play in providing programs so that our students can complete this mission of high school graduation. So please join me in an expression of appreciation, giving that group a round of applause. We are pleased that they are able to join us here today. We're now ready for a valedictory address to be given by Miss Emily Jones. Emily?
I'm just going to be honest with you. I am a huge procrastinator. I knew I had to write a 5-minute speech 2 months ago and didn't start until last week level procrastinator. I didn't finish this speech until yesterday level procrastinator. So, in an effort to finish writing this speech and save all of us some time, this is going to be brief. I would like to speak to you about life advice that will apply to all of us. In the coming months and years, we will all be on our own journeys. Some off to college, some to trade schools, and others entering the job market right after walking out these doors. We've all been given life advice throughout high school, and much of that advice is applicable to all of us. Today, I would like to deconstruct for you the most important advice, in my opinion, that we have received. The first piece of advice that our class really needs is to think before we speak, or post. In the day and age of social media, it is easy to say what you think in an instant, and before you know it, your post has been shared with hundreds or thousands of people, and with that power comes responsibility. You might be at the greatest party ever, but posting about underage drinking or other illegal activities could quickly ruin someone's future. And those of us who aren't there at the party really don't want to have to spam click through your Snapchat story. Social media is a tool used for sharing, so please share something important or nothing at all and save everyone some time. As Mrs. Mapes once said, be inquiring, be creative, and be Pepsi. This is something we should all strive to be in our adult lives, and I know several of us have struggled with this throughout high school. But how do you expect to make big SpongeBob bucks like Miss Mapes if you don't have these traits? So ask questions, take risks, and follow the golden rule. As Ethan and I, mostly Ethan, were writing this speech, we called Mrs. Bryan to ask for some life advice. She said, be smart and make good decisions. While in the past this may have been an issue, Now that we are all smart graduates, we only have the second part to worry about. Making good decisions means no stealing, less backtalking, and not falling asleep while someone is talking to you. We have always been told to follow our dreams. Each one of us has our own ideas and plans for the future, but none of us can guarantee where we will end up. We all have different dreams. Some may be more ambitious and others more realistic, but they are all great. How can any of us hope to achieve those dreams without hard work and determination? The final piece of life advice I have for you tonight is what I believe to be the most important. It comes from our very own math teacher, Mrs. Siebert. She said, "Don't take life advice from an 18-year-old. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. As we get ready to move on in the program, I want you to please note as at the bottom of the list of graduates, the recognition that each student has earned with the type of tassel or cords or collar that they are wearing. There's one that's not listed in here. We have one of our graduates earned his Eagle Scout Award this morning and will be wearing a red, white, and blue cord. Additionally, I want to recognize this group as it has 27 members that have earned over $895,000 in scholarship and grant monies to be poured out over the next 4 years to further their education. I also want to recognize this group for their charity. From their class treasury, they have made substantial gifts to the Hauser Music Department, the Schwenk Distinguished Character Award Fund. They have provided lunch for our staff. They restored 2 picnic tables to be used here on campus. Each of those bears a class recognizing their classmate Trevor Frazee. And they have pledged to support the Student Fund of Hope. So now as we are ready for the reason we're all here, that presentation of diplomas, Mr. Price, I certify to you that these students have satisfied the requirements of the state of Indiana and the Flat Rock Haw Creek School Corporation to become Hauser Junior Senior High School graduates. Mr. Price.
Thank you. As established by the state of Indiana and on behalf of the Board of School Trustees of Flat Rock Haw Creek School Corporation, I hereby accept the certification and awarding of the high school diplomas to the 2019 class of Hauser High School. I now invite Ms. Christina Madden to the podium for the presentation of diplomas.
Please refrain from loud outbursts as the graduates' names are announced to show respect for each graduate and so that we can maintain the integrity and class the ceremony calls for. At this time, row 1, please rise. Emily Deborah Jones. Aaron Jillian Thomas Newcomb. Abigail Christina Ann Johnson. Caden Elijah Asbury. Jadalyn Amanda Asher. Mackenzie Lynn Alt. Addison Elizabeth Ballinger. Bailey Morgan Bates. Austin Gabriel Benefiel. Noah Matthew Benge. Mackenzie Dawn Brown. Catherine Mackenzie Brewer. Caleb Dean Carnine. Austin Robert Chambers. Johnny Ray Clark. Rayleigh Jean Clark. Riley Joe Clark. Hunter Marie Crane. Matthew Anthony Decker. Kaylee Anna Bell Fleener. Veronica Kylie Fulbright. Angelica Leanne Gibson. Heaven Elizabeth Gordon. Ryan Stephen Hamilton. Row 1, you may be seated. Row 2, please rise. Logan Thomas Hankins. Wesley Peyton Harner. Taylor Ann Henderson. Ethan Michael Hoke. Chase Bradley Holman. Rebecca Ann Honeycutt. Blake Wayne Hunter. Joseph Cameron Hunter. Paisley Jade Hunter. Alec J. Jesse. Mason Robert Jordan. Kristen Lynn Keith. Cameron James Lawson. Erin Ann Llewellyn. Caleb Albert Llewellyn. Jacob Michael Lucan. Bo Ross McKinney. Monica Bridget McKinney. Aaron Franklin Mee. Sean Walter Miller. Ethan Roy Miracle. Tyler Scott Moore. Row 2, you may be seated. Row 3, please rise. Kennedy Marie Nading. Brandon Lee Newby. Tyler Ray Ogle. Juan Palomino. Lane Wyatt Ritchie. Mackenzie Danielle Simons. Josie Marie Smith. Justin David Stafford. Madison Elizabeth Stroll. Caden Troy Sutherland. Luke Robert Swagman. Andrew Ray Tarkett. Cammie Ray. William Edwin Trotter. Sarah Elizabeth Vanderlyn. Jacob David Eric Walton. Tristan Scott Watkins. Kaylee Renee Wells. Nicholas Parker White. Sydney Elizabeth White. Row 3, you may be seated.
Now ask Class President Abigail Johnson to come forward for some closing comments and the tassel ceremony.
Good evening, everyone. Moving to Hope for me was nothing short of wonderful. Typically, when one moves to a different community, others can be very skeptical, but not in Hope. My family and I were quickly accepted and loved our new community. Our community makes me think of one in particular quote that some of you may be familiar with since it's on my fridge at home. The quote says, "Don't become preoccupied with your child's academic ability. Instead, teach them to sit with those sitting alone. Teach them to be kind. Teach them to offer their help. Teach them to be a friend of the lonely. Teach them to share. And teach them how to look for the good. And this is how they will change the world." Class of 2019, will you please stand? We will now all graduate together as we move our tassels from right to left. I'm gonna fill this in with this. Okay. Congratulations, class of 2019. Let's go change the world.
Would the marshals please come forward and direct the graduates for the recessional? Ladies and gentlemen, the Hauser Junior Senior High graduates of 2019. That's it, it's over.